各位觀眾大家好，有好多人唔認同精神健康係一種疾病，往往喺問題發生嘅時候唔去接受治療，因而產生更大嘅問題。
Stigma that goes around with, in all cultures in regards to mental illness, and people are constantly self-medicating the symptoms of depression. Children are constantly self-medicating ADHD, ADD. Bipolar is another illness that people are not necessarily being diagnosed properly or in a timely fashion. So therefore, the introduction of substance into the brain not only exacerbates the mental illness and certainly doesn't support it, but it also increases the addiction, the capacity for addiction to set in, the whole cycle of addiction to take hold and to destroy the whole family unit. So it's very, very important that families really identify certain behaviors that can be explored, researched, diagnosed, and treated at a very young age. It's very important to be able to recognize and seek out the opportunity and seek out services that are necessary.
So my father did gambles for a time being. He sometimes spends a little, but he knew his limits at this point. It's just that, he knows his limit, and now he doesn't really buy anymore. But it was all of a sudden I was the one who keep on spending money. I would always spend and overspend. And then eventually my family knew. They were very harsh on me. They kind of punished me. And I felt like crawling in a hole. And all of a sudden I just wanted to, go outside more. And when you go outside, you feel like the world turns against you. But you feel calmer that way. And then after that, I keeps on trying to gamble, but eventually it got too serious. I had to tell my family, and they were being very supportive. And I had to take some therapy in order to take care of my addiction. And then when those addictions pops out, I had to kind of tell my brother about it. Sometimes my mother would be disappointed, and my father would always lecture me. Why these are really bad.
喺上一集 ，Chris 話俾我哋聽，佢好年輕嘅時候已經好喜歡刮刮樂彩票帶嚟嘅刺激。咁到底佢係點樣養成呢一個嘅習慣㗎啦？
So I really like scratching tickets, and because it's an easier accessible place to go, you can go to the Stop and Shop and Shaw's or Store 24 to get them. All you need to do is show them your license, and pay them the right amount, and then they'll give it to you. And it's very easy to do so, that I thought, I wish I could have followed that as well. And these things, and then of course there's also lottery tickets, but I don't really like the idea that you would have to watch it on TV or on the internet, that I have to wait. Sometimes when I feel like I win, it felt great. I was on the roll. I was going high time. I felt like adrenaline rush. And then whenever I lose, that was the downfall. I was like, oh, maybe the system is not working. Maybe the system isn't going to go along. I'm going to create a new system. And when I keep on losing, I lost all my money, I'll be like, oh my God, what just happened? I always felt in disbelief. I felt like this was a dream. Oh my God, this is a nightmare. Please wake up. And I really wanted to go home. And then there are some times that if I lost all my money, I was like, okay, I'll come back next time. I'll win again. I'll try a new strategy. I'll go with the same one. I'll go with that. And it really impacted all the things I believe, that maybe gambling isn't, maybe not all gamblers are losers. Maybe they just need help. They really need help. And I'm one of those people. I need help. I'll be like, oh God, I want to scratch so much. the twitching feeling, and then you also know I was scratching tickets because I see on my fingers and hand the powder of the blackness when I scratch and scratch. I would feel rubbiness, and the coin would feel very dirty right now. And I'll be like, oh, I hope no one's gonna see this. I'm gonna hide this in my pocket. And I really, really am sorry for the people and the problems I caused. But you know, it happens. I believe that this was meant to be, and I'm pretty sure this is the last time, where will always be said every single time. When is a promise? When is there going to be hope that I will do this? Win 100 million? Maybe not possible, but at least give me a 20 or 5 or 10. I was desperately, and if it were a 2, I was really mad. I was like, oh, $8 down the drain for $2, really? And I was like, God, please let me have some mercy. Please have mercy on me. Please have mercy on me. Spend the $2, gone. I was like, yep, comma, got me, comma, got me.
賭博令 Chris 喺金錢上損失不少，雖然佢有一份半職嘅工作，但係都係入不敷支。咁樣佢點去處理呢一個情況啦？
So I lost some money, and those monies they came from my parents' allowance, mostly because well, they gave me money, so, and those allowances were meant for me to eat lunch and go out, maybe save, accumulate to the bank, but instead I spend it all. Sometimes it accumulate and then I spend it all as well. So I survive by just going back home and just eat something in the fridge or maybe on the shelf. And then I'll be like, oh, I'm still hungry. And then there are times where I can't spend, there is nothing in the house. I'll be like, I'm hungry. I can't wait for dinner. I really want to. And then the second thing that I spend with was working money. I work sometimes, and then I receive checks, and then I put it in the bank. And then sometimes I take the money out of the bank, and then use it to spend it on scratching tickets. And I'll be like, I could have saved $400 in my bank. Yes, I would have bought a PS3 right now. And then the third resource was, if I can't do anything above, I would probably sell all my other items. Usually video games or DVDs or other merchandises. And when I do that, I take the money and then go back and spend it, or I save it for as daily living. Now, I would like, I don't need this anyway. Oh no, I will watch this. No, I don't need this. Oh, nope. It's like, so what is this? I don't know what this is. And of course, I never do anything illegal, but I was really desperate. I was so desperate, it became a situation that I realized I sold my favorite game and all of my units. And then sometimes I would try to do a clever strategy where I do an eBay, where I bought something and then try to sell it. That didn't work out either, because I realized I lost more money this way when I spent higher amount, I bid higher than what I'm getting at for selling it.
賭博帶嚟金錢上面嘅損失，佢亦都可能導致家庭、朋友之間嘅關係問題。
Addiction is a disease that not everybody agrees with that theory, and it'll always be a combat, there'll always be a negotiation, but I do believe that once people really have seen the effects of addiction around them, they can't debate that issue. They don't have any way that they can debate that issue, because the stigma that goes along for these families that have members that suffer from the disease of addiction is overwhelming. They stop shopping in the same stores because they don't want to see people. They stop attending school meetings because they don't want to hear that, you know, somebody questions something. They stop seeing their friends. They stop going to parties. They stop and they become crippled. It's only a disease can affect people in this way, and it really takes a great deal of support and guidance. Systems navigation is so complicated, and these families become crippled, and they really they resort within themselves, and it really becomes very isolating and very depressing. Even if you don't suffer from a chemical depression, these families become depressed units, and until they can get out there and really find out that there are other families that are suffering the same way that they are, it really is once again crippling. And there's nothing like seeing a family come in together with other families and talk and really get the support that's necessary, and are able to come into themselves and able to take a breath and able to bring color back to their face and maybe, you know, a brightness back to their eye, and they can actually function yet again and communicate. A wonderful thing to see that they don't feel responsible, and the guilt, you know, they can kind of remove some of the guilt, because it's also a disease that comes with tremendous guilt, not only for the addict, but for the entire family unit.
那一般来讲呢，有赌博方面的问题的朋友哈，他们基本上跟他们家人的关系都不太好。那我常常看到的有什么情形呢？就是有比如说有家暴的倾向啦，或者说有忽略亲子关系，然后很多人有离婚啦，或是如果说是学生的话，他们常常会有就是翘课啦，不去上学啦，然后学业成绩低落。然后呢，很多人如果说是工作的话呢，他们就是常常他们的心不在工作上面，然后他们的工作的效率也降低。然后呢，另外一个就是他们精神方面的疲乏，比如说很多人呢，他去赌博。赌很长一段时间，然后呢，他不吃不喝也不睡，所以呢，不只是精神方面造成伤害，对身体有很大的伤害。然后呢，我们也有看到，就是有些人呢，他们基本上呢，他们不知道他们自己有赌博的问题等他们去看医生的时候，会跟医生讲说：“哎呀，我最近血压高啦，失眠啦。”但是呢，很多的医师不知道，就是更进一步的去跟他了解，就是说问他说，你是不是你有没有用赌博來做一些逃避問題，或者是消除一些不快的感覺。
一個問題賭徒，佢可能經常或者唔經常咁樣去賭博，但係當賭博引起其他嘅問題嘅時候，呢一個就係一個問題啦。沉迷賭博唔單止造成金錢上邊嘅損失。賭博花費太多嘅時間，可能導致關係破裂，失去重要嘅朋友。當 Chris 好努力咁去戒賭嘅時候，佢又面對咗其他嘅咩困難呢？
When I really want to gamble, but I can't, I really want to actually do right now. I really get withdrawal syndromes, and I wouldn't curl up, but I'd be staying in my house the whole time. Very depressed. I'd be like, what am I gonna do? I really want to. And then I try to block out those addictions through other means unnecessary. Video games, computer. Those were also addiction as well. But apparently, at least I'm not spending money. But I feel like at those times, I feel like I'm trapped here as well. I wanted to go outside. I wanted to go back to the days where I could walk around Boston, and I feel like I'm wasting my time. But I can't. But I don't want to go back outside either, because I don't want to spend money that nobody can trust me with, not even myself. And now I'm thinking, Think of a strategy to avoid all those stores that have scratching tickets. And if you see a scratching ticket, avert your eyes away. Just go to the point. If you know where the candy bars are, go to the candy bar, but look down.
Chris 嘅意志堅強係戒賭嘅一個好方法。喺下一集，我哋同大家探討一下社區有啲咩嘅戒賭資源啦。下集見。